I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Oh, well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I broke the screen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. This is the 311th episode of the Political Spotlight, and I promise, your stuff is working properly. I was having some people contact me and letting me know that they thought things were down. I promise you, when your internet or TV or whatever would be down, it wouldn't be sponsored by the Political Spotlight. So that was probably your first giveaway, or Katherine Callahan, either one there. So welcome, people of the world, Indiana, East Central Indiana, and Illinois and Colorado and Louisiana and Germany and wherever else you're watching from. I hope you're doing well. Today, this broadcast, episode 311, I should have titled it Amber, but we'll see how many of you get that. I haven't listened to them in a long time. That's a good band. Hey, this broadcast is brought to you live. We'll be able to move my mouth eventually. On Sunday, October 20th, 2024. This is the, like the final countdown. We should play that song too, if we only had the licensing. 16 days left until the big day. And so that's amazing. I real quick, before we get into the show, I've got to say I'm trying to just calm myself. I am the most patient, non-patient person in the world. Like, so what a lot of you probably don't know about me is when I'm by myself and in my own world doing my thing, I'm not a very patient person. I get annoyed easily by people. I don't like waiting in lines, and things annoy me quite frequently. However, I am pretty patient with children. I'm patient with elderly people, and I am specifically patient with people that do not do technology. Because I am not technologically savvy myself. I am not good at cell phones. I'm not good at emails. I'm not good at little techie computer internet stuff. And so I'm not good at it. And so I understand what it's like to have a very caveman level basic understanding of whatever technological device that I'm using. So when I know people around me have issues with technology, I always feel like I'm a very good person to explain how to get from point A to point Z, because I know what I would want to hear, and I try to do it with a very basic level of knowledge. And my dad used to be the most frustrating person in the world. He would be in his house and he would call me and say, "Hey, I'm trying to get on Facebook on the computer and I don't know how to do it. I'm trying to get onto Facebook." And I would be like, "Okay, we'll go to the computer and get Facebook pulled up." You know, I'm thinking that if you're trying to get on, you've already got Facebook up in front of you and it's got like enter your username, enter your password. So I'm like, go there and take, enter in your username. And he's like, "Well, what's my username?" And I'm like, "Well, hold on. I mean, I don't know. It's your username. It's your username. Like, so let me go and look. I've got it written down somewhere in my wallet so I can get this out." And I'm like, "All right, your username is, HD Bilbrey, or Bilbrey 00, whatever." It was very similar to what mine was because I set it up for him. And he's like, "Okay, and then what?" And I'm like, "Well, have you done that?" "Well, no, but what's next?" "Well, don't worry about what's next. One step at a time." So I'm working through this, and then we get like 5 steps into it, and he's like, "Well, hold on. Let me turn the computer on." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. What?" I don't even have the patience now at this point to work you through turning the computer on. Why was the computer not on before you're telling me this? This is nuts. So he would like get me go. And Dad worked outside. He was a very hard worker. He had big arms, big hands. His fingers, like he started getting a little bit of arthritis, I think, and didn't have manual dexterity that I feel he should have had to be able to type on a keyboard. Because like on the keyboard, like looking down at the keyboard, a regular keyboard, you got ASDF, and then above it you got QWER, and then ZXCY. I would say like, all right, hit the D, and he'd put his finger on the D, and he'd hit the Q. And I'm like, "No, man, get a pen, get a pencil, and hit it with the pencil." So that's very frustrating. And so I tried being patient with him, but I always told him that like walking him through using a calculator was very similar to like talking to, a walrus or something. And so I was like it was something that I'm not good with, because like I'm very patient with that. But when it's like so crazy, and so I apologize to my grandparents, because I was just talking to my grandma who was not able to comment tonight, and I won't. That's all I'll say, because we don't give away who she is. But now, like, I literally said I didn't want to do the show because I want to drive to their house so I can see what she's doing wrong, because that's how it is. Now I need to, as a puzzle, I need to know what I was doing wrong, explaining how to get onto the show. And then she calls me and she's like, "Well, we got this thing up and it says, it says no internet access." And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, I broke people." Because a couple other people told me, like, "I don't know if your thing's working." And I'm like, "Yes, it's the thumbnail. I made it look like that." So that's my fault. I guess I should have made it look like that. April Fools. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got a lot. I think I found the issue. It's difficult to get on Facebook if your computer isn't on. I'm like, dude, you don't understand how many times we had that conversation. So many times I was like, "Dude, you just don't Facebook. It's okay. I'll let you know what you need to know. You don't need to be on Facebook." Still to this day, his Facebook haunts me, he never posted anything on Facebook. I need to unfriend him on Facebook, but I just can't bring myself to do it. So he just haunts me. He's one of those people that doesn't have a Facebook profile picture. So it's the like generic Facebook head. It says Dwayne Bilbrey Facebook head. It's just really mind-boggling. Well, so ladies and gentlemen, 16 days left. We are still in a period of almost complete overload. People are calling me and contacting me and things are going on. I thought about what I wanted to do here, and it's the ghost photo. Yes, that's exactly. I thought about what I wanted to do for this episode. And a couple, there were a couple different things that I thought that we would do. I thought maybe we would take a look at the whole Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, McDonald's saga. If you guys haven't looked into all of this, look into it. While you're doing that, maybe consider feeding the algorithms. Tickle your fingers across the screen, hit us a like. And that would be fantastic. If you don't do it, I'll come get you. No, but if you have not watched the whole McDonald's thing, maybe consider watching it. It doesn't matter if you like Trump. Like, put the hate away for just a moment and watch it. It's pretty interesting. I didn't know what was going on with it. All I know is I was watching a Trump press conference where he's like giving a really serious talk about Israel, and he's talking about Bibi and talking to him and talking about these people from Lebanon and all this. And then all of a sudden, he ends the press conference saying, all right, now I'm off to McDonald's to get a job. I've always wanted to do that. And he turns, and as he's walking away, he's like, see you guys at McDonald's. And I'm like, what in the hell? What does that mean? Like, it was, oh God. I don't care about the Arnold Palmer thing. And we've got all these, half this country is obsessed about this. Trump makes a comment, one comment in a 5-minute speech in a 2-hour line of nonsense he talks about, and the entire country spending an entire day talking about it. I don't like the Speaker of the House. I'm not a big fan of the Speaker of the House, but I loved the way he handled Jake Tapper. He was like, you're obsessed talking about that. I don't want to talk about this. I liked he was on Jake Tapper's show, and he was like, Mike, what's his name? Johnson? He actually said, fittingly enough, no pun intended on his name, he said, don't say it again. I love that he was like, told Tapper, don't say it again. You don't need to say it. Dude, it's 9:00 in the morning. What's the deal? I don't know. This is how you know that none of this crap is real. None of this crap is real. It's all nonsense. It's all just I do think that Elon is right. I think that we live in a simulation. Talking about technology brings us into our guest. We weren't going to have a guest until literally 5 minutes before the show, but I got these videos that she had sent me, and I thought, you know what? It's probably pretty important to talk about this for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you ask me who the president is, who the legitimate president, well, right now I don't know what's going on. I don't really honestly know what's happening. Don't know where Joe is, don't know what he's doing, don't know really what Kamala's doing, whatever. That said, I do believe, after all the hubbub and the craziness and chaos, I do believe that Biden won the presidency in 2020. I have no problem saying that. I also have no problem saying that I do not believe that there is a specific overall connected cabal of people trying to overthrow the election from a national level. What I think it more is I think that there are, because as we know, people who watch the local elections and watch local politics and state politics, there's a whole lot of corruption going on here and there and everywhere. And it's a whole bunch of buffoonery brought together that makes things questionable. I think that there is serious question about a lot of our elections. All you got to do is look at Madison County. Matter of fact, we're going to bring on Katherine Callahan right now like that.
Hey, before we get started, I gotta give a big shout out. I got a #1 fan, and for a lot of the people who are watching, there's a Tim Green down in Ingalls.
Ingalls, okay.
Who seems to have become my number
Ingalls,
one.
hello.
Yeah, my #1 fan who is just completely obsessed with me. Now, he'd says he never would vote for me, and he thinks I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But I will tell you, within moments of me putting this up, he was right on top of the feed. So, hey, if you're watching there, Tim Green, this shout out's for you.
I love it.
And just so everybody is clear, he's real testy because he thinks that I'm confusing him with Scott Green, who's running for county council. No,
Are you confusing them?
I know who's running. I wouldn't vote for either Green. The one thing that they have in common is both of these guys, which Tim Green down in Ingalls, he was an elected official till he resigned. He has removed so many posts, and now we've got Scott Green, who is actively running for council, who is removing posts and blocking people. And so I don't know if they're related or not, but they sure do act a lot alike.
Now, is it just Green, or is it Green with an E at the end?
No, it's just Green.
Okay.
Just color green.
Okay.
So I would just tell you all, just remember this. Green does not mean go. And this is a positive thing. Do not vote for these people. But I do appreciate how much, they watch me. Tim Green's yesterday's thing was, she's not a real doctor. And I'm like, well, I always put what my doctorate says in, and I'm sorry that he doesn't understand the tiers of education that people achieve. But yeah, I have earned that degree. So I just want to give a big shout out for him because he just got on there. He's my #1 fan anymore.
When you're 3 fingers up somebody's backside, I don't know. It's like, is it a doctor or a good time? I really don't know, but I don't think it matters at that point.
So, but I think there's so much. And again, I was already in bed. I wasn't planning on being here tonight.
Oh my God, you should have told me that.
I know. There's so much going on. You guys, I was just minding my own business today, and my messages have lit up. So I can't wait because I'm excited that Kate's going to show us the article that got published. Even in my response to this article, I'm like, who wrote this mess? This is a complete disaster of an article. And then you come to find out it was Ken Delavestine.
Well, of course. So,
when you're ready, there's a great segment to run into this, but I hope Madison County is watching tonight. I'm going to give you a lot of pointers that's going on in the county. So this will be exciting to watch.
Well, I just wanted to say this. Obviously, Katherine's on, so we're going to be doing Madison County towards the end. Once we wrap this up, I'm going to do a couple things about Muncie before we leave tonight. But
Christopher's got the hourglass going.
Yes. While this is Madison County in its presentation, ladies and gentlemen,
huge shout out to Nicole for doing this.
Oh, yes. What we're talking about is election integrity, election security, and different things. So while this is Madison County, like in the presentation, you got to ask yourself, is this thing going on in your county? Because we have about 5. I talked to the Secretary of State's office last week, and we have 5 different systems in Indiana. So Indiana's 92 counties. Between the 92 counties, they all use one of 5 systems to do their elections. So I don't know how many other counties out there use the system Madison County has, but I guarantee you there's at least 1 or 2 or maybe a whole handful. So don't think, oh, this is Madison County, yuck. Watch this, because this is about election integrity forever. So for everyone. All right, go ahead and play this.
No, you're not listening to me. Listen to me now. Listen to me now. No, you're not.
This is something that's on the cloud that you can get on.
No.
Just the hard-end software
No.
stuff that cannot access the internet capability. And then just the thumb drives from the CS200s with the votes is imported here to create the results.
So she can view it, but we can't video it.
Correct.
Okay.
That is for security purposes. Okay? Security purposes, we can't show our software programs and that for security purposes.
So pause this real quick.
I got to see it in.
So real quick, Nicole, who put this together, she's saying sorry about the volume, and there's just a volume discrepancy because what she's using is different media putting together, and she couldn't control the master volume because it was the volume that came in. So understand that. But I have watched this and put in earbuds when I watched this. And so what this is from the Madison County public test that occurred a couple of weeks ago. And what they're talking about right now, this is from, I think, actually Rebecca Kroom's audio and video. And they're talking about, obviously, this is Katherine that is up there by the lady behind the computer, and then off to the right-hand side of the screen. And then the left-hand side of the screen is Dave Sargent. And they're watching her, and she's saying that they're allowed to watch what she's doing with their eyes. And Katherine can have a photographic memory, I guess, and go home and write it all down, or go back to her seat and write it all down. But they're saying that Rebecca can't come up and video this with her computer, her phone, or a camera, which most of the time in public meetings, anything that you can see with your eyes, you can video with the camera. So this is still wonky, and we're still trying to sort this out. But the big situation here is the fact that they are asking her if these election machines, these voting machines, which are all electronical, and to me, in my ignorant brain, technologically unsavvy brain, I'm like, yeah, these things got to hook up to the internet, right? And so they are asking, wait a minute. Do these things hook up to the internet? And what are they telling you guys there? Since people can't hear it, Katherine, what are they telling you?
You really got to listen to that for about 5 more seconds.
All right, go ahead and play it.
Miss Krooms goes, well, I don't know what the problem is. We can do it in Muncie.
Yeah.
This by state law, state code cannot be accessing the internet anyway. There is no internet. It's just a program where we upload the results from the machines.
There is no internet access to the voting machines.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out. How's it getting from here to here? So it's a flash.
That's the secure encrypted hard drive or thumb drives that get coded with the election data. And then
so you're just taking the flash drive out of there and then you're bringing it. Yeah. So when you go to the polling sites when they have open,
when they close the polls at the end of the night,
no, when you
the early voting does not have.
They don't have those.
Because Indiana cannot tabulate for early. Indiana can only.
That you cannot.
So
No,
so here's what's so confusing with this. Do you know how easy it is to switch out a thumb drive?
Yeah. So just tell them again. So
they
when you
just
guys
take
ask,
a thumb drive, a thumb drive like you and I would have. We just stick it in a computer, and we just take it from there, and we stick it into this computer. So if you haven't watched this whole video, this whole chaos of Madison County, they talk about, oh, you have to have one Democrat with you and you have one Republican with you, and then they transfer these to the election room. Well, we've got poll workers who go, well, that's not true. They're being transferred by one person. And so there's lots of holes here. But how we got to this topic tonight, everybody, is there is an article that's posted. There's a thumb drive.
Here's a thumb drive, and they're a little bit bigger than this. What the Madison County uses, but it's just for the sake of argument. Like their thumb drives look to be about like this big.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
that big, about half of like a knife handle, which is what that is, knife. But it's not a thumb drive. But they'll take these and they plug these into the machines and they say, well, only one person has access to this. Well, you keep in mind, someone was able to prove, I guess, through, and I'm not speaking legally about this. I'm just saying through some kind of means, accidental misunderstanding, whatever, someone was able to prove here recently that they're not really watching what goes on because like ballots were able to come up. A couple ballots were able to come up, like missing out of the room. What would have happened if someone would have been like, hey, I need a thumb drive at home. Could I take that thumb drive home? And they would have been like, sure, yeah. And somebody would have accidentally done that. It's just, my question is, it was haphazard in that room. Well, I've been to public tests and it's never haphazard. Yeah, and they're in control of everything. Madison County is not.
Yeah, there was no control. Nobody's watching. I mean, they like this as a social event. So if we can, don't even start with me, Kate, because I don't know how to do this. If we can put up the article.
I'll have to teach you that. I'll come over and teach you. Oh,
nobody has to worry about me getting into anybody's stuff at all.
No, I'm not. We're not worried about that. I'm just going to teach you what to do.
I want to show this article because I actually think it was Nicole who sent me the article today. So for you people who sit around and tell me that I'm a wacko, I have no life, people send me stuff all the time.
It's all these other people that are wackos that have.
So this article is interesting. Okay, that's not it. Because we got several to go over, several articles. Mine would be all the way at the beginning. No, let me send it to you. These are, let me see.
Incumbents.
I think it's on
Election Commission County 2024 election.
No,
commission.
It's on your, I sent it to your text messages, Christopher, but I will transfer it.
If you're sending them for the show, send them in Messenger.
Okay, here it is. So let me send this to you.
Wait, who are you sending them to?
I'm sending it to hold on a second. This is what got everybody kind of started on this whole road today. Okay, so I just sent it to you. So this is a publication that just talks about the Madison County that was written by Ken. And it talks about, since Madison County went to vote centers following the 2020 presidential election, several recounts have shown the tallying of the votes to be accurate. Okay. So it's right there. Now, I'm going to argue that a little bit because since there's no transparency anywhere in the election rooms, I don't know that the votes have been accurate. The votes have been accurate to match whatever Russ and Linda and those guys put out for display.
Well, sure. So this is like
I don't know that they're accurate.
It's like me grading the homework and being like, yeah, you got a 60 on the test, and you're like, well, let me see, and I'm like, no, I promise you really did. You got a 60 on the test.
Yeah.
Unless you're seeing what's happening. So they're just saying like, these are the votes. It was 50 to 62, and then they're like, well, recount it, and they're still the ones telling you, well, we did the recount, and it's still 50 to 62.
But they're not really showing us what they've thrown out. They're not showing us who brought in the thumb drives. They're not showing us. There's so much. There's so many variables and outliers out there. See, people actually got a doctorate that I don't know that what we're recounting is actually accurate. It is accurate to their standards of what they have manipulated. So after the 2020 election, the county adopted a vote center plan that was approved by the Indiana Election Commission. County officials purchased 150 additional voting machines to supplement the 170 already owned by the county. Now, I want people to understand this. That means that this county has 320 voting machines. And I want you to remember that number because we're going to circle back around to that number.
Yeah. So 150 plus 170
is 320.
320.
Okay.
320.
So remember that number, 320. Lisa Cannon, the director of the county's IT department, said the system is web-based. Well, that's funny. I thought she just said it wasn't web-based. And we've got a couple other views to go by. And I think Cindy Ponchin, if she's listened, she also was told it's not web-based.
Yes.
The state provides the cybersecurity. She said when the state took that over, it made it easier on the counties. No, what it did is it gave control now to the state to be able to manipulate things. So that's not a good thing because it's better that your own county is watching.
Yes.
Because now the county's over 90 or the state's over 92 when you could have your own team. So there really should be both people being over it. So we have checks and balances.
Yeah.
Cannon said there are many methods for hackers to get into the system. And the key is to keep unauthorized people from obtaining sensitive information.
Wait. All right. Stop there. So when did this article hit?
Today at some point.
This article, I don't know. Nicole,
you're watching.
We need to call the clerk's office. Call the clerk's office tomorrow.
Yeah,
find out
October
about
19th,
this.
2024.
This article needs to be ran in every major newspaper, I think probably in America, because what they have been saying for the last 4 years is these computers do not hook up to the internet. There is no way for them to be hacked. There is no way that this happens. You guys are conspiracy theorists. This is nuts. This, even for people like me who doesn't buy into all of the Trump stuff from 2020, who still says, wait a minute, I still am concerned. They're like, no, you're a conspiracy theorist. It's nuts. If this, one of two things, and I'm not saying either one, I'm just telling you, this is either, if this is true, this is big news, or if it's a lie, it's big news. But one way or the other, this is big news, and everyone should be seeing this because, I've listened to them say it in Georgia and in Nevada and in Indiana and in Michigan and in Pennsylvania that this is not possible. And this is saying right there, I'm reading it in black and white, the state provides cyber security. Look, I don't need to provide cyber security.
But wait, this paragraph says, during elections, the county is responsible for securing the internet connection.
The internet
to the
connection.
electronic poll books used to the vote centers. So right there, you're contradicting what you just said.
Well,
now you're saying it's the counties.
What's it say there? Cannon said there are many methods for hackers to get into the system.
Then it goes on. The number of users with access is very limited, Cannon said. It stays with the Madison County Clerk's office. Well, then how does the state know that they secured the cybersecurity if it stays with the county? I'm so confused with this article.
Well, first off, real quick, when you're saying it stays with the Madison County Clerk's office, please understand, folks, that in most counties, your clerk's office, other than your sheriff's department, your clerk's office is the most employed office. You have the most employees. Your sheriff's department and your clerk's office are normally the two most, the biggest offices that employ people. And like in Delaware County, there's 40 people that work in our clerk's office or more. And so if they're saying,
our clerk's office is not,
you might not be that big, but if you got 20
the
people
auditor's
around
office is the most employed, and I don't even know what any of those guys do. And like Nicole said on here, the IT department wasn't even at the public meeting.
Yeah, right.
This is, and so we're sitting here and we're looking at all this. And then it goes on.
Yeah. So I don't mean to
Madison
interrupt you,
County
but this is
Clerk
mind-boggling.
Linda Smith said her office election security efforts, including training poll workers, were encouraged to follow provided checklists. Well, here's the thing. You just said that we have the most employees usually in the clerk's office and the sheriff's office. But did you know that in April and May of 2024, during the primaries, that only one person in the clerk's office got a gazillion hours of overtime? One. Now, if only one person is getting all that overtime, that tells me somebody's being left to ballots all by themselves. One person got overtime. This is a problem, people. I don't know if anybody else is paying attention, but the fact that only one person got all that overtime hours tells me I have no oversight from anywhere else during this election when somebody's getting that much. Think about that. Think about Linda Smith was up there begging for overtime to be paid out to Heather Bailey. One person. I'm not, I'm just saying it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So here we go on and we talk about, we had a very successful public test to the computer equipment, Smith said. The results are sent to the Indiana Election Commission. We had complete chaos to that.
Yeah, it was anything but a very successful.
Complete chaos.
It was complete chaos.
That test included the counting of test ballots to make sure the votes were being tabulated correctly. And we're gonna circle back around to that comment too.
Remember the 320 and remember that.
As required by the state, the voting system was sealed after the test. The test ballots used, as well as all the other election materials, were sealed and retained. The only internet connection locally is with the poll books. Smith said, that's to make sure a person only votes once. There have been no problems with the system. Okay, I'm going to even say it. I'm going to call bullcrap on this. Because we had a person in the primary who showed up at the polls to vote, and she was registered as deceased. And she's like, I'm not deceased. I'm living and breathing right here. So there are problems. There are huge problems. People showed up at the polls voting day. There were huge problems.
That is something I would never want to do.
Smith said on September 11th,
if I showed up dead,
members of the election board, along with representatives from the sheriff's department, the Madison County Emergency Management Agency, the county commissioners, and the IT department and clerk staff met with a security inspector from the Department of Homeland Security for an assessment prior to early voting at the courthouse. Well, where are our lay people? Where are your constituents? Why is that a closed meeting only to those people? There should be a couple spectators from the county in there.
Yeah.
She said the assessment is designed to evaluate a facility's security posture and identify options to mitigate threats. Well, you know what? Maybe if you had some outside people in there, you'd have some ideas if you were doing things wrong, because right now you've got these structured people. They're only looking at it from one angle. Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The protection of the safety of the elections of Madison County are the highest priority. Smith said this group will continue to connect as satellite and vote center locations prepare for voting. Well, she couldn't even control a room that had more officials in there than it had constituents. I don't know how she's going to do poll sites. Earlier this year, the Madison County Clerk's Office received $188,000 grant from the Indiana Secretary of State's office that will be used for electronic poll book holders and backup batteries for the equipment. Well, here's the thing, like Laureen White said, they better use some of that money for training of the elected clerk and how this is supposed to be done, because clearly everybody is clueless in Madison County. So she needs to put in their education. It needs to be their number one priority, because they don't even have that. So as we go through this, I just want Madison County to be aware. As I have idle time to think, I began to think. There were only 4 machines being tested in that room. 4.
Well, 4, yeah.
And my understanding is, and I'm not real clear on this, but anybody who's watching, we have to have 5% tested. If you have 320, 5% of 320 is like what, 16?
Yeah.
So I don't know where they're coming up with this because
Yeah, where are the other 12 machines that they
Yes.
didn't test?
Yes. So I'm very confused with when they talk about any of this information. So I want to just share with you, and I don't know if you can see that one that I sent you that Russ Willis posted at the primary the last time. And
Well, like Kate said, that's not even 5% of the original number before they bought the other 170.
yeah. So I do not understand where this was even legal. And what surprises me even more, Diego Morales, if you're watching, or anybody from his office, this is disgusting. It is disgusting that you are not even holding these people accountable. I would like to see the certification to see how many they said were tested, because there were only 4 in the public test. That means, if you ask me, the primary race was not qualified. It should be reran and redone, because they did not test the machines like they were supposed to. So for Ken to even say that, the recount's okay, and it's no, I'm telling you right now, the recount is not okay, because we're not even testing the machines. Then you've got the Republican chair going, oh, many are asking who they should vote for. This is who you should. I'm doing what is best for our county, not appease the wackos that are running to take over our county government. Well, the only wacko are the ones that aren't telling the truth. That's
Yeah.
the swamp right here, wackos. Now, for a Republican chair to speak out like that is disgusting. Now, anywhere
Well, all right,
else,
wait. Let's see what he says. Many ask who I'm voting for. So
this was in the primary.
Who's asking? Oh, who's asking him who he's voting? I don't think anybody asks him that.
He makes these private posts like he's somebody important. This is his private post. Well, nobody. This is the most ridiculous thing. The wackos are the ones he's mentioned here. So anybody who thinks they need to vote for Dr. Scott Green, I just want all of you to know he's part of the swamp. The Colps, they're part of the swamp. When you vote for these people, you need to be voting for Rebecca Crooms. You need to be voting for Christy Grabowski. You need to be voting for Fred Reese. You need to be voting for Brandon Collin. These people are not part of this swamp. That's who you need to be voting for. Don't vote for anybody that Russ has listed. Now, this was primary. So Abraham and Abel were knocked out. Green made it through. Colt made it through. And this is what I mean. So he didn't support Jonathan Colt, but he's supporting his dad.
Yeah.
But now that Jonathan won, he's going after to help Jonathan. And I want to be clear with everybody. Jonathan Colt, I like Jonathan. I just want you to understand, Jonathan Colt is the son-in-law to Jody Nork. He's the son-in-law to Judge Nork.
Yeah.
He is going to be he is the son to the auditor, Todd Colt. So you're going to be voting in some family member there, which I don't know. He would need to recuse himself on many levels. This is going to get very convoluted and complex and frustrating if Jonathan is voting on things from his dad. I mean, this is not a good look at all. Jonathan should have ran, but it should have been something completely different than county council, which puts him in direct line with the auditor. This is a bad idea. So that's the big thing. I want everybody to pay attention to all of that, but I want you to listen to a couple of these videos when they talk about, hey, listen, it's not, they say it's computer based. Now listen to what they are telling us. Do you have those, Christopher?
Say again.
Do you have the ones where Dave Sargent and those guys are talking about? I can send them to you.
Yeah, let me. Well,
here's the first one. So put this one
yeah.
up. It's in Messenger.
You put it in Messenger. Okay, here we go.
And then it's sending right now, so it might take a minute. But I want the public
I had it on my phone.
I want the public to tell me what we just read and what's being said in this is completely different.
Okay, here we go. Damn it. All right. There we are.
I've got it, Christopher.
Okay. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Flash drives are shipped here overnight.
Okay, by secured mail.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was checking, didn't it?
And none of the programming equipment, nothing is ever hooked to the internet. Even our equipment here, as you can see, I brought this. This is our election night recording.
Hardened computer system.
Hardened
as well.
computer. There's no internet or anything.
There's no internet.
The programming is kept by Linda, I would hope would be your office, secured in case there's any question about programming integrity. Okay, I'm good with that. Thank you.
So Linda's agreeing there's no internet. This lady who's sitting down here is the head of the state. The lady who he's spoken to in the red, white, and blue is part of the state. Now, Kate, can you put the next video I sent up to you to make?
Is it in the same grouping?
Yeah.
I knew I had heard it someplace louder.
So that cannot access the internet capability. And then just the thumb drives from the CS200s with the votes is imported here to create the results.
So she can view it, but we can't video it.
Correct.
Okay.
That is for security purposes. Okay? Security purposes, we can't show our software programs and that for security purposes. So
I got to see it in Muncie.
no.
Law, state code cannot be accessing the internet anyway.
There is no internet.
It's just a program where we upload the results from the machines to create.
So you're bringing a flash drive from here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out. How's it getting from here to here? So it's a flash drive.
That's the,
Right.
the
Right.
secure encrypted hard drive or thumb drives that
Okay.
get coded with the election data. And
Okay,
then
so you're just taking the flash drive out of there and then you're bringing it.
Yeah.
So when you go to the polling sites, when they have open,
When they close the polls at the end of the night.
no, when you
The
have
early
the
voting.
early voting.
does not
They-
have the
They
thumb drive.
don't have those.
Because Indiana cannot tabulate for early. Indiana can only count or tabulate votes on election day.
So what do they do with those ones that are?
They're
early?
They're locked and secured.
They're in a blue bin.
Mm.
So when you go in the satellite center, takes those ballots and they go up to the election room and they're logged in.
So they're not scanned over there, they're scanned when they're brought back here.
On election day only, they cannot be.
At the end of every open day, they're gonna bring them back here and lock them up until election day.
And they verify the amount of ballots to the amount of people.
Election time only,
This
or this
is
is
a-
something that's in the cloud that you can.
And then there's another video. Do you see where so those were so there was two different incidents in the election chaos on October 3rd, where they said, no, it's not part of the internet. Okay. Now there's one that I've sent you with Russ Willis on there. And he talks about, now this is from the spring.
Spring. I was there for that
I saw
one.
one of the posts earlier and they're talking about 2019. That's outdated. We got these machines and the e-poll books in 2022, so they're the latest, best. greatest.
These are not computers. And they're not hooked to the internet. There's
But
only.
I'm just saying, I mean, I know it's not a computer, but I mean, you still have to, my phone.
Where y'all going? I'm going with you. Where are you going?
So they just said it's not part of the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what more these people are doing, but this is complete craziness. I mean, it's just complete craziness. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore, because what this tells me is, listen, we're doing whatever we want in Madison County. We can switch out thumb drives. We are on the internet when we want to be on the internet. We're not on the internet when we don't want to be on the internet. IT's really not sure what's going on. The paper doesn't even know what to report. And Linda Smith is somewhere in La La Land because she won't listen to the people. She needs to listen because her mentor, Russ Willis, is taking her down a black hole. And the quicksand is starting to suck them down faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of over all the chaos that is going on in Madison County. There's just no reason for this. There's never going to be a reason for any of this. I don't know where we were at on that one election video. I'd have to get some timestamps, but I just want people to know, if you go back and you look at the video, no one had a clue to what was going on in that room. They were able to leave the room and they were able to make up missing ballots within a matter of 8 minutes.
Yeah.
This shows us that they know how to make ballots and bring them back. So let me see here. Do you have access to that video the election one that I did?
Are you talking? What do you mean? Are you talking about the one from Madison County?
Yeah.
Their recording of it?
No, our recording of it.
The one that you recorded of the test.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me 1 second. That was on October 5th.
On October 3rd.
Okay, yep. Okay. I'm almost there.
Nicole, there weren't any discrepancies. They went and they made a new one. So it's all good. These two are both like in their own little worlds.
I'm trying to get up here we're almost there. I'm to the 8th.
I had written down all the timestamps somewhere. Let's see. See if I can find it.
Okay. I'm putting this up on the screen.
Was it around the 51 and 36 minute mark?
Well, if I can get this up on the screen here, I'll know.
I wonder, you know what? It might actually be on Dave Sargent's one. That was where we found, you could see the wide angle of it. I think it's Dave Sargent's.
Well, let me go to Dave's because he'll have less to put up. And this is on his Facebook page.
Yeah, it'd be on his coroners or the morgue one.
I don't know what's the name of it.
Madison County for a new morgue.
Okay. Madison. Morgue.
Citizens for a New Morgue and coroner's office in Madison County.
Oh, so it wasn't the name that you just gave me.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And go to the 28-minute mark.
Hold on. Citizens
for
Here
a
we are.
new
Here we
board.
are.
Yeah.
All right, I got it.
And then go to the 28-minute mark. Let me see what that takes us at. Now look at this closely, people. You want to tell me that elections aren't rigged and they're not pressed and pushed forward? Oh, but they are. I don't know that Madison County has had a fair election in decades now that I've seen this footage.
Okay, so the only thing that he has up here is yours.
All right, let me send it to you.
What are you sending me?
I'm sending you his okay, this is it. It's a messenger.
Okay. All right, here we are. Share. Where are the thumb drives? Who produces them? From my understanding, they come from the company that creates the machine, and they produce them to. It's like a vendor. So the county goes through a process. They take bids and they decide which company they're going to go through. They contract with that company, and then that company says, "Okay, well, how many machines do you need? And how many poll books do you need? And how many tabulators do you need?" And then they send them what they need. And along with that, you also get their technological support and their people to come down and help you on election day. And it's all a big it's all part of the thing there. Okay, so we've got this pulled up here, and
so
we
go
don't
to
have
the
it pulled. Okay, there it is now.
Go to the 23-minute mark.
Okay.
Okay, now watch this closely. So the 23-minute mark, because I've watched this thing.
$23. All right, we're starting at 22:59.
Okay, now by this time, all the ballots have gone through, but the two people from the state are they're starting to figure out, like, we don't
Hey,
have the right
Sean,
numbers.
after we're done here, if you got a minute, I'd like to bend
Okay.
your.
So there's no communication going on here between the election board and the state people. Okay. On this first machine, they're pulling off the numbers to say, okay, this one's complete. So voting machine number 1 is good. Okay.
Yep.
Then voting machine number 2 is okay. So see all those big ribbons of tape?
Yeah.
Now, again, no real communication going on there. Now, where did Sue go? Sue's missing.
Yep.
Right? State keeps talking to her. Everybody just heard a door click. Okay.
Yep.
So now let's see here.
Well, and notice what time it is. It's 24:38. She probably went out 20 seconds ago.
expected results. These are the expected results, and then here's the tape that we just ran.
Okay, so there's the tape you should print. This is what should happen when this is all done.
This tape is from our balance that we just ran right now. So these are the results from that, and then these are
Now,
the expected results.
notice the two on the left, those screens are clear because they're done.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
completed, right?
Yes.
Right, so now we're confirming that it did tabulate.
So you need to back up a little bit. You have to stay back with the recordings. Who are you? I'm with the sheriff's.
Who are you?
It looks like the third machine just cleared out its screen.
Yeah.
I can see it with my eyes. I'm allowed to film it.
You are not. They have their own regulations. So I just need you to step back. You come up and look at it, but you cannot record it.
What? That makes no sense.
State regulations say it can't be recorded.
Perfect. What state regulation?
And Linda doesn't know what the state regulation is.
Yeah, they're so mindless. Linane at one point is like, yeah, if they want to break the law, just let them break the law. You know, like, look, if they really knew what they were talking about, they wouldn't be like that. They don't truly know anything that's going on.
Then go right to the 28-minute mark. So you see all
28 minutes.
What's the difference?
They are.
Can you let me finish, please? What's the difference if I sit back there with a telephoto lens and I zoom in on the text on the screen of the ballot, or if I stand here?
right there's good. So now watch this. Who comes into the room?
Yeah. And you can see it. Oops, 1 second here. Look, you can see. I can't get it to there. There she comes in. I was trying to get it to pause, but you could see the three machines all have the same screen on it, but the fourth one down there does not.
So she's come in with new ballots.
Yeah, she just came in with new ballots.
They are confidential.
Now, they don't know what's going on. The election board has no clue to what's going on.
Yeah.
So what does she do? She stuffs the machine with ballots. You can't tell me Madison County's got elections. This is all horse crap.
Yeah, that's real wonky what just happened there.
Your clerk doesn't even know that you've got missing ballots in the fourth machine.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just, I mean, you know, they can say what they want, but I'm telling you, we got big, and this isn't just happening in Madison County, people. Don't get me wrong. This is happening all over America.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of what I wanted to show you. There's big problems here. A lot of things need to be re-looked at. They need to be evaluated. Any of you, if you haven't read the article on Tina Peters, I don't know if anybody knows who Tina Peters is, but she is the former county clerk who gets 9 years in prison for tampering with voting machines.
Yeah.
That just happened. It was in the New York Times. She brought in hackers to manipulate the voting in her county. Now, some say she was set up and blah, 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 blah. I don't care if she was set up. I don't care about any of that. What the point of it, everybody narrow in, they can be manipulated. They can be hacked. They can, that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
So I just want people to understand.
This is a different angle. So what I want you to see up here is this screen, this screen, this screen all look the same. This one does not. We're at 2754. Okay. Watch what happens here.
It's in the law.
Well, no, you tell me. You tell me what can you tell me what is confidential and a public step that you're asking the public to come and see? I went to another one and all that is confidential. I went right over to Muncie. It's on my film. They literally film everything.
Here she comes. She just came in the back door. Coming right along here. Comes right up there.
That all test materials
are sealed
And watch her.
and disposed as paper ballots. They are confidential.
See, Linda's more focused on what's confidential. She doesn't even know somebody's stuff in her box.
Yeah.
Where
Amen.
is the state person at this point?
Those two right
They're
there are
digging
the
with
state
the
people.
machines. Keep talking. I'm gonna stand. Hold on.
This is the state director, and then that's her person. They're just running with it. I mean, they're like, well, we're just going to force these through and make them match. I mean, it's unbelievable. Linda still, none of them up there know what's going on. None of them know that there's a problem.
They could, at this point, lose a tray of ballots somewhere and go, oh, well, we're short 200, so we're just going to.
And that's exactly my point. Right here shows they can make up 200, 500, 600, however many ballots they want to make up, and they can shove them right through. Now we know.
We have 2 more machines that need verified. If any member of the public would like to come up and do that, they're invited to do it. Yeah.
2 more machines that need to be verified?
Mm-hmm.
If you back this up, she tells you that all 4 have been closed. I mean, we're not going to go back, but I want people to take the time. You know where to look. Go around the 20-minute mark and watch that for 10 minutes. Watch the segment. This is not how you test machines. There was a flaw. They should have stopped. If they were off on their count, they should have questioned that. Right then and there. They should have told that to the election board. They should have told it to the public. Nobody said anything until now. Now we know what's going on, but I mean, it was complete chaos. I thought the machine had just eaten some ballots and it was no big deal.
What do you mean this proves they lied about Larry? What do you mean?
Who?
I think I don't know what happened with Larry, and I'm not saying.
I'm still very confused.
Listen, I don't think Larry did anything wrong. What?
I'm very confused. I don't know who said they lied about Larry.
Nicole said so. This proves they totally lied about Larry.
I don't even know enough of that.
I have no idea. So they came for a sealed missing ballot. Yeah, listen. You can see it in this video. And I'm not saying anything negative. I do not believe that Larry did anything intentionally, knowingly, or intentionally on purpose, criminal. He had no ill will. He had no criminal intent. If they attempt to prosecute him, they are fools. They will lose. And I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't waste the money. I hope they don't mess with that. It's embarrassing that they already went through and wasted the time to do what they did, go issuing a warrant and doing all that crap. I hope they don't mess with him. But
it's embarrassing to see that your clerk would rather see somebody not video than to know. She doesn't even know what's going on in her own room.
She should not be. The clerk is the chief of the elections, and she should not be that. She should not be the clerk. Everyone in Madison County should be embarrassed that you put this idiot in charge, and you need to take care of this at your next election. Someone out there needs to have the brains and the brawn and the willpower to step up and run against her, and you citizens need to take her out of office because she is a joke. She's the joke of all jokes for this office. But you can clearly see 1000% Larry walk up to that 4th machine. He grabs some paper and he puts them in the front part of his pocket. He didn't do it bad or intent. I don't think he did anything wrong. This shows he took them. I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think he was trying to do anything wrong. I just think he was saying, hey, is this a sample ballot? Looks sample to me. I don't know. I've not talked to him about it. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm just saying from a former cop, I wouldn't have done anything. I sure as hell wouldn't have went there and served that search warrant on him. I wouldn't have been involved. I would have been like, there ain't no way. I'm not doing that. I have nothing to do with this. It's nuts. It was nonsense. Linda should have called him and said, hey, Larry, did you take the ballots? Bring the ballots back. Come on with it. If they knew it was him, if they went in and watched this, she could have called him. She knows Larry. And what they were trying to do is they were trying to shut Larry up because Larry's a loudmouth that gets on their case and they don't like it. And hey, maybe he's connected to this person or this person. We can take down a whole bunch of them. That's what they were attempting to do there. And shame on them for that. Larry will come out victorious on all that. I got no problem. But where did you? Someone wanted me to rewind this back to what? What do you want?
Heather was asking that, but I don't know what she wants to rewind it to. But you know, with all of this said and done, after you watch this chaos,
Yeah,
you have to ask yourself, Linda, are you a bit worried that you're falsifying documents to the state that you're testing 4 machines when you should have 17?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is anybody in Madison County worried? Olivia Pratt, you're probably watching at some point. Are you worried that you did 4 years and you didn't do the right amount of machines? It looks like there's been problems with testing the machines, and shame on the state for not saying, wait a minute here. You guys you're not turning in 5% of numbers. This is a problem. So I don't know, again, is it the tabulators? Is it the voting machines? That's something I'd have to dive into a little bit
I'm getting ready
more.
to tell you right now, I'm going to read you the law. We're going to have it out here and know it right here.
But I hope people are going to start asking questions. The other thing is if you haven't voted yet in Madison County, I want to share with you something very clear. The lines out at the county building have been out the door. This is the presidential election. Now, remember in 2020, we had the long lines. People were waiting in line for 12 to 16 hours. Now, we've got a huge problem during these first 2 weeks, and the long lines are back. They're not fixing that. It's my understanding that people are standing on top of you. They don't know what they're doing inside the polling area there at the county building because Russ Willis has decided to remove the seasoned people who have the experience and put in all new people because people were getting too close. So I want you to take pictures in that room. If somebody's standing over you, I want you to look at them and say, back up and get away from my machine. You can use your phones and your cameras. You can take a list in with you. If there are long lines, please send them to me in Messenger. Start videoing that. Start showing the long lines. But I guess it was a couple hours wait at the county building is what I'm being told.
Even an early vote. Yes.
Yes.
Even current. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to request some footage to see if that's true. I don't know if it's true or not.
I'm telling you, Delaware County, it is definitely true. So if you guys are doing anything similar to Delaware County, it is 100% true.
So here's the thing. I know they blamed Gaskell in 2020. Olivia Pratt did a lot of finger pointing at Gaskell. If we have another nightmare of a presidential election in Madison County during the actual day, election day, that in itself will show you that the fiasco lies within the swamp of Russ Willis and whoever is in charge of the Democrat Party, because that's who is running the show here. They should be so ready to go. They've got 150 or 170 extra more machines. So we're going to see. But right now it's mass chaos up at the county building right now.
Yeah. We'll go back to the machine here in a minute. We'll tell you who everybody is and show you everything. This is very important. So this is Indiana Code 31114.5-1. Okay. This is system test, random selection of precincts, reprinting of correction of ballots requiring additional testing. Not later than 74 days before election day of each the primary and the general, for each county planning to use an electronic voting machine system at the next election, VSTOP shall provide each county election board with a randomly sorted list of unique identification numbers for the inventory of machines in the county maintained under Indiana Code 311.16.4. Starting at the top of the list, the county election board shall select machines in the list in the order listed, so that if a machine is to be selected in the list is not scheduled to be used in the upcoming election, the selection process will move to the next machine in the ordered list. Each selected machine is scheduled to be used in the upcoming election, and the number of machines selected is not less than 5% of the machines in the county scheduled by the county election board to be used in the upcoming election. So they can test more, but they cannot test less than 5% of their total machines to be used in that election. So I want to say real quick here, what does that mean? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that means in 2023, last year, when we had the primary and the general for the municipal elections, that means there was no national election, there was no state election, and there was no county elections. We didn't elect county council, county commissioners, sheriffs, prosecutors. We didn't elect state representatives. We didn't elect senators and Congress. We elected mayors, council, city judges, and city clerks. So the clerk's office that handles those machines, they have a couple sets of machines. They have some machines that only do the city stuff, and they have some machines that do city, county, and state, and federal. And so during their public test, they're not going to test the machines that do the county stuff. They're only going to test the municipal machines. In this election, they could test any of the bunch because they're all going to be in use. But when they do that, whatever the case is, they have to test 5% of the total of machines that are going to be used. In this election, I don't know what the total number of machines Madison County has. If it's 500, they got to do 5%. If it's 320, they got to do 5%. I'm telling you, whatever the total is, if it's 150, which is what it was a while back, they're not testing the right amount of machines. Four machines is not 5% of 150. So they're not doing it.
Right,
And that's
150 would be 7.5 machines.
Yeah, right.
So they'd have
right.
to do 8.
And so they
So
would
this
do
is a
8.
huge problem.
Well, yeah. So this goes on. It says, the county election board shall test the machines as described in subsection A to ascertain that the machines will correctly count the votes cast for straight party tickets for all candidates, including write-in candidates, on all public questions. If an individual attending the public test requests that additional electronic voting systems be tested, then the county election board shall select and attest additional machines from the list in the manner described in subsection A. I think this would give the public a chance to say, hey, I think you need to test another one. As I read B, if VSTOP does not provide the list under subsection A not later than 60 days before the election, the county election board shall establish and implement a procedure for random selection of not less than 5% of the machines in the county. The county election board shall test the machines selected to be used in the upcoming election as described in subsection B. The testing under subsection D must begin before absentee voting starts in the office of the circuit court clerk. If a county election board determines that a ballot provided by an electronic voting system must be corrected as provided by the code because of omission of a candidate, political party, or public question from a ballot, or is an absentee ballot that a voter is entitled to recast under that code because the absentee ballot includes a candidate for election to office who ceased to be a candidate or has been succeeded by a candidate selection under another code. The machine used in the test conducted under this section did not contain a ballot that was reprinted or corrected to remove the omission of a candidate, political party, or public question, or indicate the name of the successor of candidate. The county election board shall conduct an additional public test described in subsection B using the machines previously tested and contained and reprinted or corrected ballots. And so, real quick, there's a lot more code you can read about this, but this is the basic thing here. And what's really important is Marion County, and there's other counties that do this. I think Allen County does it. I'm pretty sure that Evansville does it. They just test every machine, every time, every go. They say, hey, we want to be 100% sure that everything functions. You know, maybe we need to start looking for clerks that are willing to go. You know, I always say, and I haven't said it in a long time, that in law and in government and in a lot of different things, you have this idea of floor versus ceiling. You know, the floor is where you begin, and the ceiling is the sky's the limit. It's wherever you could imagine to be.
Well, Linda Smith's never been able to get up off the floor.
She ain't never been able to get up off the floor. And look, some people that's okay for. Me, that's not good enough for. I expect more than the floor. So let's shoot for the ceiling and say, you know, we understand that this is just good enough, but just good enough is not good enough for me. I don't think it's good enough for the county. And so maybe you guys need to start saying, we're not going to elect you to be clerk unless you test every machine we have, because we want to know that this shit is right.
Well, so I just want the public to know that for Ken Delabastide to say that those machines are accurate, well, we haven't tested them correctly. So I'm not going to say that they're accurate and that these votes are accurate. So we've got there's going to be a lot to happen here in the next 15 days in Madison County. This is a lot of information for people to process and to go back and review and look at. What I want to say to all of you, I really want to go over who you need to vote for. There's a whole big process, and maybe Chris will let us have the platform maybe Friday or something. We'll go over who the choices in Madison County should be. We've got a huge problem going on right now. And I don't know, Chris, if you can kind of show a sample ballot. People don't understand. And so for the ones that are watching tonight, you should have something in Facebook Messenger. For the people who are watching tonight, when you see your ballot, if you are getting a paper ballot, I want you to look, and it says the parties. There's 4 parties. You need to read the fine print. If you pick your party that does not get your school board members on there, it does not get your council members on there. So you can't just stop. There's been several people who've stopped in my office this week asking me, hey, I'm just going to pick Republican. Well, then you're not going to pick the county council. You're not going to pick your school board members. So please understand that you don't stop once you pick your party.
Don't do that, because you're going to vote for freaking Braun if you do that. That would be mindless, folks. Split your ticket.
You need to split your ticket. It's very important. And I just want people to be mindful of this. People are asking, and I will go into this at a later time. This one,
Did
right?
you say you sent me something?
Yeah, that's towards the beginning of all the thread today on your Facebook Messenger.
What is it that you sent me? What am I looking for?
The ballot.
Oh, yeah. All right. I got it.
Okay. So pay close attention to this right here in that center when it tells you about your party. That's just your party. Madison County voters. I'm going to go out there. I can't do it. Yes, I'm a Republican. I've always voted Republican. I cannot do it this time. Okay. If you're looking at county council, you need Christy Grabowski, Republican. That's the only Republican you need. You need Rebecca Crooms. I cannot express to any of you all this video footage. All this has all been started by Rebecca Crooms. She is the founder of the Facebook Live for Your Government System. It is Rebecca Crooms. She is a Democrat, but that's who you need in that seat. It's going to be tough for a Democrat to win in this county because so many people will go in and do straight ticket. But you need Rebecca Crooms. You need Christy Grabowski. And then, you know, Fred Reese, he's another advocate. He is a Democrat. Brandon Collins, he's new to this. He may be an option he's a libertarian. But in Holtzleiter, he is an officer. I don't know a lot about him. But I'm telling you right now, you need Rebecca Crooms. You need Christy Grabowski. And you need one more who's not part of the swamp. Because right now they continue to hold the majority of the votes. That's got to stop. There was an article put out about the commissioner candidates. Rick Gardner is claiming his fame of this $100 million jail. He's going to bankrupt us. Quit voting for Rick Gardner. He's a complete idiot. I mean, I don't know how else to tell you. The man has filed bankruptcy. The man has hidden his property taxes. The man has used taxpayer money to pay off his property taxes. What are you doing? Quit voting for him. Now, is he going to win? Probably. But then it's your painful years. Go vote for Marquest Higgins. I mean, I don't have anything against Ollie Dixon, okay? But he is the last voice that the city has for the people. So you really don't want to take Ollie from the city because he's their only voice that's left over there. No one speaks for the city unless Ollie speaks because Miss Crooms isn't over there anymore. So just be mindful of that.
Wait a minute. So is he on the city council?
He is
and
on the
he's
city
running
council
for commissioner?
He is. He's the only minority. To be honest with you, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I think Ollie is the only minority that is elected in this entire county with city and county.
Well, now that they got rid of Rebecca, yeah.
Yeah, Anderson still needs a minority voice. And so I'm just saying that, getting, and again, the government was never made up for this to be all held by Republicans or all held by Democrats. It was never designed to be all held by white people. It was held to be, it was designed to be held by a good diversified group of people. In Madison County, these numbnuts have taken us back 60 years.
Yeah.
They're wanting to put Miss Crooms at the back of the room during the election voting of the machines. Well, she's not Rosa Parks. What's wrong with you people? But she wasn't going to have it. She sat right down there up front, and she was going to video that for the people. That's who you have to have, fighting for you people. That's who we have to have fighting for us. So I'm just letting people know that, it is your choice. It is your right. Right here shows if you hit that Republican or Democrat, people feel like they're done and they're over with. They feel like I've done no, you haven't gotten your school board members. You haven't gotten your county council members. So keep that in mind when you're doing your absentee ballot. Feel free to reach out to me. Anybody is welcome to come by the office at any given time if they need help with ballots. But most importantly, don't forget to sign the outside of your envelope. They are throwing out ballots like crazy.
That's if you're doing a mail-in ballot, right?
Right. If they're doing a mail-in ballot. There is one important picture that I want to show, and then I'll wrap this up because I know you got to get on to Muncie. This is this one right here. I want to show the public. Since we've had the testing of the votes, this now hangs outside the election room, where it used to be that you could go in, you could talk to Heather Bailey, you could talk to Mary Rutherford, you could come and go as you please. I just put it in your Facebook Messenger. Now you have to knock on the door. They will come out into the hallway to talk to you, which there's really no privacy, right, in the hallway. So that's transparency of who they're talking to. But what's going on in that room now that we've closed all the doors?
Okay, right here.
This now hangs there. This is ridiculous. This is corruption, and this has to stop. Now, all of a sudden, it's authorized personnel just to walk in where Heather Bailey sits. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So now you're telling me you're going to bring all the files I need outside into the hallway for me to look at it. It's okay for me to look at it out in the hallway where everybody can stand around and do it. So now, if that's okay to do, then why don't you just open the door?
Yeah, right.
I mean, you're having conversations with me out in the hallway. Well, then there's nothing to hide. Open the flipping door. So Madison County, we're in trouble because the more we educate ourselves, the tighter they try to show you what control they have. These people are cutting off their nose to spite their face. They can't get out of their own way. And so I want you to vote. I want you to vote in large amounts, because the more people who get out and vote, the more we're able to expose.
Wait. Pause. Pause. Tweety Bird, I'm not really getting what you're saying there. Did you say suggesting not to vote? If you're not going to vote for someone that filed for bankruptcy, you're probably not going to vote for anybody.
Now, I'm not saying not to
is,
vote for somebody who filed for
yeah.
bankruptcy. I'm not saying that. Now, Tweety Bird, I don't know what county you live in.
Yeah.
But you need to understand that Rick Gardner was behind like $80,000 in property taxes. He has suddenly made these property taxes disappear. He then said he took his payment, every payment he would get, he paid that towards his property taxes, and none of his property taxes went up to sheriff's sale. There's a whole big difference here. And here's the thing. Yeah, people file bankruptcy. Look at Todd Culp. Todd Culp just did a $500,000 bankruptcy that was settled in March. He blames it on the 2008 recession. 16 years ago, he's never been able to recover. 16 years. And you know what? He's going to be the new auditor. So no, you can file for people can file bankruptcy. People make mistakes, but when they keep doing the same thing over and over and over, that's what becomes the problem.
Well, you got to look at what, it's like, so that's why I say you don't want to paint with a broad brush. It's a case by case basis. So if we're talking about someone that we're going to put in position where they're going to be controlling the budget, and they had a situation, say, God forbid, John Doe is running for office, and 25 years ago he had a son or daughter die. God forbid, what a horrible situation. And a lot of times when you have something like that happens, sometimes a marriage breaks up, or a spouse dies, and it tanks you, whatever. So if you went through a 10 or 12-year bad patch 35 years ago, and then you righted the ship in the last 25, 30 years, and you're driving a straight ship now, that's one thing. If you're filing for bankruptcy last year, and that's the only thing that's happened, and you're well, that's still okay too. It can be. But if you've got all kinds of issues and there's some questionable things about how stuff's getting taken care of, that's the issue. It's just it's got to be a case by case basis. It is all.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. We all fall on hard times. None of us are perfect people, but Rick Gardner took away all his property taxes this year so no one could see them before he ran for commissioner, because he doesn't want the people to know just how far behind he is on anything. That's a problem. He doesn't want people to know all the properties that he can quickly see on a sheriff's sale that he's absorbing. There's huge problems with this when you hide things. And that's the only thing. But there's so much more I would like to go over and at some point show other things, but be careful with your ballots. Be careful who you're voting for. Make sure you're circling in the dots, but please don't just pick a party and think you're done, because you're not. You are not done. You do not have to pick 3 people for the county council if you don't want to. If you just want Christy Grabowski, then just pick Christy Grabowski. If you want just Rebecca Crooms, just pick Rebecca Crooms. But I just want people to understand that Christy and Bethany, Christy's going to win. Christy and Bethany are going to need help. They've got to have the majority of the votes. So they're going to need Rebecca Crooms and then one other person, whether it be Fred Reese, Brandon Collins. Hopefully Holtzleiter will vote their way. I don't know him well enough to go one way or the other, everybody, just so you know. I know a lot of the Holtzleiters. They're good people. I've never had a problem with any of them, so I don't have a problem, saying that. So just think about when you vote, just be careful and circle. Please don't vote for Rick Gardner. I mean, you're just voting for trash.
Yeah.
You really are. You're voting for trash. And so, Marquez Higgins is the better choice of that. And I encourage you to take a strong look at that. But anyways, that's kind of my deal tonight with Madison County. I don't know how secure the machines are. Please come out in droves. A big shout out to Nicole for all the work she's done. Also to Miss Crooms for everything she's done. I will tell you that Nicole is quite on a mission herself. Her ballot in when she was in Baghdad appears to be signed with her current married name now. And she was not even, she didn't even know she was going to be the name she has today in 2008.
That's so weird.
So there's something definitely weird with that ballot. And so we'll keep an eye on that as well. So keep an eye on your ballots for everybody that's out there. But, you know, we'll get there slowly but surely. I appreciate you guys letting us talk about Madison County Night, Delaware County. I love you people because you're so supportive of us being here. So, you know, let's get there. And I'm going to put out more information this week and we'll see what happens.
Right. You know it.
But I don't think we've tested the right number of machines in Madison County.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
So, but I can't even get my case of Russ heard. I filed that back in beginning of August. They still haven't given me a date for the election hearing for him not itemizing his money that's coming in. They only have so many days to get that done.
I'll see if I can find out what's going on with that.
So anyway,
I'll see if I can find out this week.
Yes, but everybody, I know there's people who've sent me things in Messenger. I'll look at that as soon as we get off the show. But if anybody needs anything, let me know.
All righty, ma'am. I appreciate it as always.
All right.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Goodbye.
See ya.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Katherine Callahan. Hey, that was fun. The only other things that I wanted to say was, number one, I just I feel like it's so weird. It's the whole tit for tat thing, man. I was talking to what time is it? I was talking to my toadies. Yes. I don't even know what I said that's triggered that, but it made me think of it too. What did I say? Nicole, tell me. Because I thought it in my mind, but I can't think of it now. Here's the thing. The whole tit for tat thing, man, is so crazy to me. Whatever any one of us say, there's always something else that someone else is going to say about it. The other thing, it's like beating your head on a wall trying to figure out how to overcome that. And it floors me how crazy it is. I got in a fight. Well, that wasn't really a fight, but on X, I posted a couple posts on X that got some traction this weekend. One of my posts I made on Saturday, I shared the quick little short that I made about Micah Beckwith admitting to working on the JD property tax plan. And it got picked up by a couple of the bigger news people from the Indianapolis area, and they shared it, and it's been viewed like a lot of times. And so that was kind of cool. But it was really interesting because someone responded to that and said, like, people really need to pay attention. He quoted me because I said, well, my original post was, so Micah Beckwith admits to working on District 33 State Representative J.D. Prescott's property tax plan, announced just 10 days after Beckwith's running mate announced his plan, which obviously is Mike Braun. So Mike Braun announced his plan, and then just 10 short days later, JD Prescott goes in and announces this other plan, which is just really weird. But I had always had the sneaking suspicion, myself and Kate and Brandon Rudd, we all kind of thought that, seems like maybe Micah worked on this with him. And I just kind of always had that sneaking suspicion. Well, Micah, during our interview the other day, he admitted to me. I asked him, and he admitted he did work on it. He worked. So think about that. He worked on another plan. That's like, imagine, this similar, like you and your husband is working on building a life, and then you find out that your husband is also working on building a life with his girlfriend. It's very similar to what we're talking about here. So Beckwith is the running mate of Mike Braun, and they're working on this property tax plan that they unveiled, and they're running it for the campaign, and it's all thing. And then we find out that, he's also at the same time been given special smooches to JD Prescott working on his tax plan. Seems like they were working on competing plans at the same time, instead of all of these Republicans coming together to work on the good plan for Braun and Beckwith to run on. It's very odd. But then to add all of that into the mix, we have to understand that just days after Prescott's plan was announced, various other Republican state representatives and state senators were going like on tours around Indiana, telling anybody that would listen a couple things. Number one, they were saying they particularly didn't like or support Republican candidate Mike Braun, and they were not supporting him or his bid for governor. That's odd. That's really odd to say about the guy that just won your primary. And number two, even if and or when he wins, they were saying, the Indiana General Assembly will not be passing his property tax plan or many of the other plans, policies, and or ideas that he has. So why is Beckwith working with the establishment hacks of the Indiana Republican Party instead of working with his running mate? Hoosiers really need to be paying attention to what is happening behind the scenes. It breaks my heart to hear that there are people saying, well, we're just going to go in and press straight Republican ticket. These people are so down and despondent because they hate what's going on, but yet they're going to go in and do the same damn bloody thing again. Dudettes, like, don't. My God. That's nuts. That's like getting in your car and immediately pulling out into oncoming traffic and getting T-boned by a truck to then put it in gear and run backwards into the other side of traffic. Quit running into traffic, man. It's not working out well for us. So I put that out there, and somebody responded to it, and he quoted me, and he said, people really need to start paying attention to what is happening behind the scenes. And then he said, and do what? Seriously. And then he went on to say, because I thought he was going to be a smartass, but then he went on to say, Indiana GOP no longer functions as a political party. It is a cult of corruption and idiocy. Well, no shit. I responded back and said, I fully understand your point. It's a good thing that the founding fathers did leave instructions for times just like these. However, the problem is most people don't have the stomach for it. Let me read you those instructions just in case you haven't heard them or you've forgotten them. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, It is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. Folks, like, you can choose. We can pick up the bang bang sticks and go crazy, or you could go out and vote, or you could not go out and vote and everybody stay home. Or, I mean, you choose the way the protest is going to be or whatever, but my God, quit saying, well, I'm just going to go in and vote straight Republican again. That is not doing it. Quit looking at local politics with the same lenses through with which you are looking at what's going on in the world, because folks are not dealing with, in city government, abortions and Second Amendment and things. Now, I'm not saying give that stuff up, because it is important, but you've got to know the people that you're talking to. You've got to know, you've got to play to the people, man. When you're dealing with local level stuff, act accordingly. When you're dealing with state level stuff, you got to act accordingly. If the state will not take out the straight party voting, then we have to take it out. And the only way we can take it out is by not doing it. I almost am to the point where I'm saying, if I would rather have low turnout and people that are going to vote straight party stay home. If you're going to vote straight party, just don't go vote. I would rather you not go. I would rather lose an election because the other side had actual voters than my quote unquote side go and vote through a bunch of mindless idiots because they wanted to vote for an ideology that has been screwing you for the last 20 years here in the state of Indiana. I don't know. There are more that violate their oaths in office than keep their oaths. Absolutely. That is no joke. That is absolutely true. So, okay. That's it for tonight. Sometime this week, we're going to have on Susan Dillon. And sometime this week, we're going to have on John Bartlett. Susan Dillon is running against Sue Arrington in House District 34. She's a Republican candidate running against Susan Arrington. Sue Arrington. Susan Dillon's running against Sue Arrington. I guess they're all Susans, or I don't know, whatever. Sue's, whatever. That's going to be this week. Also, we're going to have Democrat John Bartlett on. He's running against J.D. Prescott. So that'll be interesting. On the big to-do list this week, Delaware County budget meeting. A very important Delaware County Council meeting is going to be held this Tuesday. I don't know if we're going to live stream it or just talk about it, so I'll keep you posted there. Muncie special council meeting at 5:30 on Wednesday to pass the budget or to vote against the budget. There's a solar meeting on Thursday the 24th from 5:30 to 8. And so that's important. And I've got some records. We've got some Westell stuff that we're going to be still digging on here. I've got to turn in a record request for something through the health department, reference the Westell stuff, and a couple of other things. So it's going to be a busy week. Tomorrow will be 15 days. Early voting is open. You can go do it. Pack a lunch. It'll be long. We've also got day 2 or 3 of the Delphi trial, or 4, will start tomorrow. So that's crazy. And so we'll keep you posted with all of that. If you guys could do us a favor and hit the like button before you leave, that would be fantastic. Please subscribe to the show. If you're not already subscribed, it doesn't cost you anything. Make sure to share the show with everyone you know. And then, what are you pointing out to me? Did you point me something? Oh, I thought you did. Okay. And I was like, what is that creepy box there? That's up. It looks like The Ring. I thought we were watching The Ring. It's like some Asian woman, little Asian face staring at me. But then I realized it was Katherine still in the dark. So, all right, I got to go get off here and get rid of that The Ring video that's down at the bottom of the duck. You guys have a good night. God bless you. Stay there real quick, Katherine. And we will see you guys here back here at same time tomorrow. Episode 312 tomorrow, Monday, the 21st, right back here at 9 p.m. Eastern. Take care. This is what I have to say. The only way to reset this shit show is the people have to stop voting. But if you do, still going to be the bootleggers that continue voting for the swamp. Yeah, I mean, I think I always think it's more strength through numbers, but I can't get anybody else to believe that. So I guess, huzzah. All right. Good night. Goodbye. God bless.